You have a story to tell. Let me help you tell it. I'm Judy Shearer Waters. Welcome to my channel. Here I give writing prompts and bring you author interviews of ordinary people who had stories to tell that are very interesting to other people, that are relatable. Today I thought it would be fun to bring you into my legacy writing class. We've been doing this since 2012, and ladies have come and they've gone, and some of the ladies were not able to be with us today. But I want to show you what a legacy writing group looks like and that you can start one yourself. You don't have to be a published author. You don't have to even know what you're doing. Just invite some friends over to start writing with you. So let me introduce you to my group. So welcome to my memoir writing class. We started this class back in 2012 with 10 ladies, and we've had ladies come and go, but these are the ladies now who have been here for quite a while, and they're all writing their memoirs. Some of them are published, some are not. And because I talk about ordinary people having great stories that are worth the telling, some of these people these ladies just need to write. It's just in them, and they just need to write. So I'm going to go around the Zoom circle here and ask each one to introduce themselves and to tell us why you write. Sandy?
I get to start. Okay. My name is Sandy Goforth, and I love to write memoir because I have so many stories in me. My childhood, my past, family stories, when they come to mind, it is a full-blown memory with smells and feels, and I want to get it down. And so I guess I'm one of those that just writes because I have to.
Right. And you have how many?
I love to have this group. I have 4 children, and my children are all grown, and I have 14 grandchildren. Wow. And I love to write about them and for them. But this group is so great because it makes me just get to it, get the writing done.
Good. Thank you. Sherry?
Hey, I'm Sherry Hunt, and I have been writing since grade school. But what I love about this group in particular is I didn't know I was a memoir writer until I joined this group. And I love to write because I love to be able to relate to people. And that's really what I've discovered memoir is about. As a matter of fact, I have a published book, and it's a Bible study based on my memoir.
Great. You have a couple published books, right? You have a poetry book?
I have a poetry book. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good.
But in the memoir genre, I thought I was writing just a Bible study about my struggle with obesity, but this group encouraged me to approach it as a memoir, and that changed everything for me.
Great. Kathy?
Did I answer all my questions right?
Yes, she did. Perfect.
Thank you.
Kathy?
Hi, my name is Kathy Luthringer, and I joined a writing group when I moved to Canyon Lake, and it was just only somewhat helpful. I took time off to do Ancestry.com. I was retired. I retired. Oh, I can do what I want to do now. So I went to a writing group, and then I did Ancestry.com, and then I had to go back to what my daughter asked me to do before I moved to Canyon Lake, and that was to finish her book. She died after a struggle with leukemia, and she wanted me to finish her book. So after I went to Ancestry.com, I joined the Hill Country Christian Writer Group, and over the past 3 years, I have published her book finally. And so, since that's published, I'm going back to the Ancestry.com. There's so many stories there that I know I can even write in a historical fiction because I only have pieces of the information, but I do have some memories of my aunts and uncles and my mom and dad. They're both from large families. My mom, her mother had 12 children. I did not know that. I thought she only had 8. But going back through Ancestry.com and asking some older cousins, I found out that she had 4 dead children before she died.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I had one dead child. Imagine 4. So I mean, that touched my heart.
Yeah.
I need to find out more about all of what went in there.
Good.
And yeah, and I continue to write just because you guys are fun to get with and talk to.
Good. I'm glad you're here, Kathy. Kathy is our newest member here in the memoir writing, and we're so glad she's here. Elizabeth.
Yes, my name is Elizabeth Pavlov, and I joined the Legacy Group in 2013. And my youngest son, we became empty nesters, and my youngest son said, "Mom, what do you love to do?" And I said, "I learned to love to write in 9th grade." And I kind of have journaled through the years, but just about that same time, Judy sent me, she was my son's English teacher, and she sent me an invitation to the group, and I jumped on it, and it's been a real blessing. It has shown me what legacy is. I hadn't really thought that much about it, but it is telling the stories of family and your past. And when you do that, you open up a lot of things you didn't know were there. And it's been really wonderful. And I would encourage anyone to write legacy.
Great. Great. Thanks. Well, let's go around again. And what I want you to do is to tell us what writing in a group helps you to do. How does it strengthen you? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but, in what way is the group helpful to your progress? Kathy.
It made me accountable to show up and be there every week. And you just didn't want to show up with nothing sometimes. Sometimes you had to. But being there helped me see what progress other people were making and how they made that progress. And it was just awesome just to take in the fellowship of it all, the camaraderie that we're all kind of working toward a goal.
Good. Thank you. Anyone else?
Well, like I mentioned before, I didn't know I was a memoir writer. And when you think you're this kind of a writer, when you're in a group, you realize the possibilities are much greater and the perspective is much wider than you imagine. And every time we meet in Legacy, I'm reminded of something that I didn't even know I needed to write. And so that's been fun as far as the Legacy group and memoir writing.
Right. Okay. Anyone else? Elizabeth, Sandy? No?
I would say it's
Sandy, you're
been,
muted.
to be in this group has been very encouraging.
Say that again, Elizabeth.
And being a member of this group has been very encouraging to write. And we do prompts, and we've grown a lot. I would say I've grown tremendously as a writer over the years. And it's opened a lot of doors.
Good, good. Sandy, did you want to add something?
I just wanted to say that I enjoy hearing my sisters' stories and encouraging them to keep on telling them. And I enjoy them telling me to keep on telling my stories. I think that in a group, we build each other up, and that keeps us on track to keep telling those important details of our lives.
Right. Our group is built mostly on the warm fuzzies. We write something, we say, awesome, you go for it. It's not that real hard critique. But it is the warm fuzzies, and we do a lot of writing prompts. So how do you, the writing prompts aren't necessarily going to be part of a book or anything, but how do you feel about writing prompts that maybe you had never even thought of writing about? And anybody, does that help you? Does it stop you from writing what you want to write? How does the writing prompt help you?
I like them.
Okay.
I like writing prompts.
Okay.
Yeah, they get things going, they get your brain thinking. And it's amazing to see the point of view each person has, how different it can be. So
Right.
they're very useful.
I love that part about it. When we write, we'll write for 15, 20 minutes and then come back together and read them. And it's amazing what each one of us will write a different aspect of that writing prompt. And so when we come together every week, it's only 1 hour, but we chit chat for a few minutes, and then whoever has been chosen to be the host that week will give out a writing prompt, and then we write the 20 minutes, and then we read to each other. So, and we give each other great kudos. So Sherry is our host today for writing prompts. So what's the writing prompt that you would like to give us today?
Well, kudos to Judy Waters, because I was inspired by watching your second video on your channel when you were outside. And you were talking about feeling the cool on your skin, and you were talking about the senses, and it made me think of an image, a snapshot, a moment. And so my writing prompt is describe the most satisfactory snapshot moment of your life.
Ooh.
An image or a moment that you will never forget. And it could be as simple as having your senses overwhelmed, seeing a glacier calf. It could be a moment with your children, with your husband on your wedding day. So it could be the sublime or the mundane.
I love it. I love it.
So
okay.
I'll read it again. Describe the most satisfactory snapshot moment of your life.
Sherry, I don't know. When you say most, I mean, people ask me, what's your most favorite music? I'm going like, well, there's classical, and then there's rock, and then there's, I grew up with, the Beatles, and then there's rock and roll, then there's country. Oh my goodness, there's so many country songs. So I have to choose a genre of my life, maybe. And
yeah, I mean, this is also what's great about prompts, is that you don't have to do this word for word. This is simply something to inspire. And I think that's important for people who are watching this to realize that how you interpret a prompt,
Mm-hmm.
the whole idea of a prompt is just to get you thinking. Right. So if you can do this literally, fine. And if not, then see where it takes you and where you jump off.
Could be that aha moment of your life too, but bringing in, I like what you said, bringing in all of your senses. So all right, so we are going to go ahead and write, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, so we are back. And everyone has read their story to each other, but I'm going to ask Sherry to read hers, because perhaps she had something in mind when she came up with this prompt. But anyway, she's going to read hers. Sherry, you're on.
Okay. There are some moments you never forget. Moments that are etched into your brain like a Polaroid camera with everlasting film. The first such moment I remember was when I was 9 or 10 years old. I was playing with my dog in the front yard when a cold front blew in. In less than a minute, the temperature dropped from warm and sticky to cool and windy. I don't know why I remember it so vividly, but I recall every second like a slow motion picture replay. I don't have many of these Kodak moments, but the ones I do have, I carry with me to unpack like nostalgic old friends. The most emotional moment that stands alone happened one night when my firstborn was an infant. Because I never wanted children, I was not prepared for the emotional attachment I felt for this precious little boy. Mm-hmm. The day itself doesn't stand out as anything unique or unusual, but 30 seconds of that evening will stay with me forever. After dinner, my little son and I sat on our living room sofa as I read to him. He cuddled closer as he got sleepier until it was time for Daddy to pick him up and take him to bed. I felt the good exhaustion of the end of the day and looked forward to time to myself after caring for an infant. But just as father and son stepped out of the living room to make their way down the hallway to the bedroom, they paused. Hilton Jr. lifted his head off of Daddy's shoulders and turned to look at me with a sleepy smile. I remember thinking then, this is an almost perfect moment. Perfect. The kind every parent hopes for. A moment of sublime contentment and intimate connection. If I close my eyes, I can see it now. That one instant in a lifetime of other great memories. One instant of sublime bliss, which will carry me forever.
Awesome. I love it, Sherry. Very
Thanks.
I love it too.
That's
Thank
so
you.
sweet. So
I'm
sweet.
so glad to have finally written about this because really this is a moment that replays over and over and over quite often. And it's the first time I've written about it. So that was fun. I actually looked up the prompt online. I mean, I was just looking for prompts and watching Judy's thing. And yeah, that's how prompts happen.
Yes.
So
Yes.
sweet.
And that's how memoirs.
And a very,
Go
yeah,
ahead. What, Elizabeth?
it's a very important story, a very important story to record for Hilton, for you and Hilton Senior, and for the grandkids to come. If you have grandkids, they love to hear these stories.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
true.
Yep. Very nice. Very nice. And this is how memoirs get written. It's one story at a time. I hope you enjoyed your time with our writing group today. Those stories you didn't hear took several different directions using the same writing prompt. Sandy wrote of an exciting time when she and her husband walked through the Guadalupe Park. Kathy wrote about the time when her husband almost died in the rapids of the Guadalupe River. Elizabeth wrote of her plea to God to bring her the perfect husband. And it wasn't long after that when Michael knocked on the door. I wrote about meeting Mr. Bear on our hike up Gruant Glacier in Alaska. It's so much fun to see and to hear where other people go with different writing prompts. And as you can see, it's not that hard to start a group like this. Invite a couple people over to your house or maybe meet up in the public library. Get to know people through their stories, and you'll find that the camaraderie that you feel is the encouragement that you need to keep writing. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button and leave a comment and subscribe to my channel so that you're notified every time I put out another video like this. Until next time, I'm Judy Shearwaters. You have a story to tell. Let me help you tell it.